So with that, I would like to first introduce our speaker, Lauren Ashwin, and her talk is about where medicine meets motherhood, navigating intuition and intervention, and she's going to share a personal journey through parenting a child with a rare disease, evolving technology, the daily choices that blend clinical care with a mother's instinct. And her talk is going to share how her family balances science and soul. I love that, navigating advanced interventions with intuition and hope for the future. So thank you for being here, Lauren, and I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, great. So, quick warning, I want to share a process that could be valuable to anyone, whether you're a scientist or a parent, anything in between. But in doing so, might get a little sad in the next few minutes, but bear with me if you can. So, instead of goal setting, I prefer fear setting. It's my glass half empty way of preparing for the future and calming the constant undercurrent of anticipatory grief that I know all parents in this situation feel. So here's how you do it. You ask yourself 3 questions. First one, instead of what is my goal, it's what is my fear? Well, mine is losing my 6.5-year-old Delta to Leigh syndrome. Question 2, what am I already doing to prevent this from happening, and what else can I do? I'm going to come back to this one because that's what we're doing today. Number 3, and arguably the most important step, is what will I do if this happens? Sometimes I actually list those steps out as, I don't know, a way to maybe feel control of something for a minute. So what would I do if that happens? I truly put myself in the room that day and think, well, I'm going to have to probably sign some papers and collect our things and walk to the parking garage with that red wagon that before meant we're going home, but not this time. We'll have to plan a celebration of life, obviously with a purple color scheme, maybe baby dolls, of course, if you know Delta. Gonna have to find the best way to tell her almost 2-year-old sister what happened, and perhaps craft a social media post about the joy she brought to everyone who knew her. I need to decide what outfit she'll be laid to rest in, and if I'm going to be brave enough to include her lovey or keep it for myself. I've got to donate medical equipment and supplies and pack up her big girl toys for her sister to play with one day. I will definitely need to up my Zoloft dose. And yeah, my mind just wanders. I list it out. I know what I'll have to do. I know it's going to be hard. I take a deep breath. I think I'll be okay. I can do hard things. And now, back to question 2, where we focus our time and energy. I'm prepared for my fear to happen, but what am I doing to prevent this? And what else could I be doing? And that's where I'm going to put all of my energy. So, part 2, and I promise there's no more sad. I just want to show you this picture. I don't know if you can see. This is Delta. When our bright, healthy 2.5-year-old Spitfire, a redhead, was very unexpectedly diagnosed with Leigh syndrome, I did what most of us do or have done. I found Cure Mito and the amazing resources they have online. I joined the registry, of course. Started researching as much as I could. Tried to figure out how to get API 743. My God, we've all been there. You know, Googled, how do I make this in the garage? It's just a dead end road, we've all realized. Tried to become an absolute expert on this disease. And then specifically, once you know your mutation a few months later, exactly what an expert on the mutation specifically. And so then you make all the appointments with all the doctors in all the places. You raise awareness, you raise money, rinse, repeat. And the deeper you go, the more you realize really that almost no professional really knows what to do, since each one of our kids is so unique. And you're going to need to rely on the experiences of those who came before you to know really what to do, when to do it, with the interventions alongside your intuition for your own child. Um, for example, like Casey was saying, with the registry, getting information about, how many kids have feeding tubes. And when I first started researching, it was like, well, looks like the kids living the longest all seem to have one. So I am certainly going to go for that. Because controlling nutrition and hydration and medication is absolutely critical, scary, but also like, hell yeah, we get to play offense on this one. So we moved forward with that as soon as we could. But then something like another intervention, the Mito cocktail. We all got one. We probably could laugh at some of the things that were thrown in, like just in case, when our children's GI systems can't take those harsh levels of vitamins. I mean, my GI system can't even take that. And the more I learned about complex 4 of the more mitochondria, the more I felt in my gut, like if she's getting the vitamins and things in her formula, then and it's not working, then like just piling on more of those vitamins and minerals isn't going to help. If anything, it might hurt. So we now only supplement with things that aren't included in our food, like CBD oil and CoQ10 and MCT8 oil. Anyway, so that all seems easy enough. Again, what a journey. But then the Drake. Highly debated topic in the neuromuscular degenerative world. And what started with Delta as an increased CO2 level in the blood turned into a year of her feeling terrible. Basically, like she had altitude sickness 24/7, which is like the worst hangover ever that never goes away. And, during that year, a lot of things kind of led up to um, some scary moments and a hospital stay where they were saying, you'd be crazy to leave here without a trach. This is going to keep happening over and over again because she's not expelling the CO2 out of her lungs when she sleeps. So if the quality of life is a priority, you really don't have a choice. Now, I recognize firstly that a trach isn't an option for everyone for lots of different reasons, including just where you live. Some medical systems, if you have the privilege of being a part of a medical system even, do not offer this level of intervention for children. So I recognize that. So we were lucky to have that choice. And when you say yes to a trach, you're saying yes to a minimum, probably 2-3 month hospital stay. And here's the thing. I'm supposed to have a baby the next day after they were telling me this. So that was also being weighed in on all of our decision making, but you'll be pleased to know that Delta's little sister was born and we had trach surgery all in the same weekend. And it's definitely not how I thought we would be starting off a family of 4. But at this point, we just roll with the punches, even when they are TKOs. So let me show you this picture if this is the first time. So kids are so cute. That's the first time she's meeting her little sister. Like, wait a minute, you make noise. My baby dolls don't sound like this. Someone help. So definitely not how I thought we were going to start this journey off. But once we made it through recovery and training, we got into a routine at home. Delta's body began to thrive. She started gaining weight and even muscle. She went from 24 pounds pre-surgery, or 24, 25 pounds pre-surgery, to within a year and a half, up to now she's just at 50 pounds. So she's doubled in size. Let me show you. Look at that gal. She is doubled in size, and she is she sleeps better, she feels better, she looks better. And it just made me wonder if we should have done this sooner. Was I holding her back? Could the trach one day be offense instead of defense, to buy us more time with less regression earlier on, in hopes that we will find treatment or a cure even? Could we do it earlier to make the recovery easier? And honestly, what else could I be doing for offense? And in walks ChatGPT. Okay, part 3, and the last part. For those of you who don't know, chatgpt.com, you can go there and ask a question, give it a task, and it synthesizes everything available online and responds. That's a pretty simple version of it, but it's great for learning things, such as, these are things I actually asked. Help me understand what SIRF1 gene is specifically doing in the mitochondria and what happens when it's mutated. How is some energy being created and some not? Are they broken? Are they kind of working? What's going on? Like, pretty interesting stuff that you can learn. And sometimes I'll be like, tell me like I'm 5, or 12. I give myself a little credit. I even at one point uploaded Delta's medical records, current medicine, supplements, and food schedule. And then I asked ChatGPT, what am I missing? It suggested, with the research included, supplementing epicadacin, a prescription suggestion of bezafibrate, which we've seen with SIRF1 before. And then it suggested that I adjust the formula. It said, instead of Kate Farms 1.2, you could consider switching to 1.5 peptide. This is exactly what it said. Because it's higher in fat and better for our brain. It's lower in volume. It'll be easier for it to digest and require less energy. Okay, thank you. I shared it with her nutrition team and they agreed. And they were like, what prompted you to make the switch? It's like, well, offense. What else can it tell me? Here are some things I regularly use it for to help guide my intuition. What new research has come out that's connected to Leigh syndrome about complex 4, or even just the mitochondria? And let me tell you, the only stuff that pops up that's legit is coming from all the scientists and doctors that are here today, which is amazing. I can also link a study into ChatGPT and tell it, explain this to me like I'm 12, or do these findings have any possible benefit to a 6.5-year-old female with SIRF1 Leigh syndrome? This is what I did with the ambroxyl syrup, for example, and got some really great information about what they're doing with Parkinson's research. Where can I buy this? How might these meds interact? This medicine costs $26,000 a month. What's the closest available medicine or small molecule that has the same mechanism of action? Again, these are all questions that are in my ChatGPT history. I've given it a list of 15 supplements and medications, order them in terms of impact, side effects, and contra indications, create a treatment plan for a 6-year-old, 50-pound female with SIRF1 mutation. It gave me timeline for dosing, monitoring, what tests we should run. It also said, before you do anything, you need to address her low iron levels that I can see in her chart. because everything else isn't going to work if that's not balanced. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, chat. And so I could upload her lab work and be like, what am I looking at here? What should I adjust? What am I missing? And of course, we would discuss that with her doctors first. Okay. But Chat GPT has become my new thought partner, my research synthesizer. And it even encourages me by saying things like, that's a really interesting question. Or now you're thinking like a scientist, which I absolutely need that kind of encouragement. So, all that to say, use your intuition to help determine the interventions that are right for your child. I think ChatGPT helps me confirm some of my intuitions, and I wanted to share that with you guys today from the parent perspective. Also, we must constantly ask, what else can I do? What else can I do for them? How else can I raise money for Cure Mito to keep these amazing scientists and doctors we are going to hear from today working as quickly as possible to save our kids? And you know what? If you're not sure, you can always ask a parent, one of us, or you can definitely ask ChatGPT. So thank you so much for your time today. And Delta says hi.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for that very moving talk and for sharing your wisdom and navigating your fear and your family's choices and your hope in research.